Hi, I'm Stefan Stuckert. I'm the director of Against the Tides.
Hi there, I'm Damian Daniel and I'm the cinematographer of Against the Tides.
I don't like this interview because I'm not dealing with American accents for a change. So I like the edits on your movie a lot because they were very cohesive and very natural, and they did not make you fall asleep in the movie, which is typical of documentaries. And yours is actually more entertaining than some of the stuff that, you know, standard features people might watch on Netflix.
Yeah.
So,
Do you watch lots of? Watch lots of docs?
Not about the subject matter.
Okay.
I watched things like, the other day I watched something about Stanley Kubrick. I'm just going to be honest, I didn't like it. S is for Stanley, and I watched that. So I watched things like documentaries about filmmakers.
Yeah.
Or about things I want to learn about. This is kind of unusual for me, but I did like it more than a standard feature, like like a storytelling feature.
Well, the editing, I don't know if your audience will have a chance to watch the film, but the editing is always, in documentary particularly, is very important because you shoot with documentaries, you don't really write, well, unless you do a documentary that has a script that is like a story that already happened.
Yeah.
Then you might want to write a script, but with our film, because it unfolds in the present, there wasn't really you don't know what the story is. You're just excited about the subject, Beth, the swimmer, and then you try and do you follow her around, you gather footage. You have a rough structure probably. With this swim, there's 7 swims, so you have a rough structure, but you don't know how the story is going to pan out. So all that happens in the editing, the storytelling, the script writing in a way happens in the cutting room. So all the effort that goes into writing a script for fiction, for example, all that is transformed into the post, into the cutting room. So you're building the story, and to build a story that is for 90 minutes really holds the audience. That's a real.
Well, that's hard because I'm going to throw more shade at the S is for Stanley movie, and basically it's that this story was not told well at all. It looked like there was no story. So how do you want to avoid that mistake with this movie? Because like there is a lot of story, but at the same time, if you make one little mistake and you don't tell it right.
Yeah. So we did a lot of. I used to direct a lot of magic shows. The Darren Brown, I worked a lot with Darren Brown. He now got a big show on the Broadway in New York on Broadway. And what you do with magic, other filmmakers have compared filmmaking to magic. You constantly try and keep it exciting, so you misdirect. You bring in elements that are a little bit confusing at times, maybe.
Okay.
So in our film, we sort of divert from the swimming narrative and go into other stories, and sort of build her character and the story by sort of not going linear, but sort of weaving in and out of the sort of main narrative.
Okay. And you talked a lot about how you didn't want too many aerial shots.
Yeah.
Actually, I really liked those, but whatever. You worked with 2 cameras.
We worked with 2 cameras.
Okay,
yeah.
and what was, like, say something went wrong, then you were just gonna...
No, the 2 cameras are purely for coverage.
Okay.
Because trying to cover something, I mean, Beth is taking us on a journey. We don't know where she's taking us. When she's doing her swims, it's very voyeuristic. We can't tell her to do something.
You purposely wanted just to have like 2 cameras, a smaller.
2 cameras is for doing absolutely. You've got to cover your reverses. You've got to do it. Trying to do a documentary like this on 1 camera would be impossible. You'd only have it from 1 angle.
And you didn't want to have like 8 people, because they actually have seen documentaries with like, especially when you see the like people going to the Olympics. These teams, they have so many people.
Yeah, but our budget was limited. So our budget's limited. We were a small crew. So I know you said you love aerial shots.
I did.
I love aerial shots.
I love it because it reminds me of like like a sexy action movie.
Yeah, I love aerial shots.
Yeah.
They're brilliant. But what I was trying to say was we wanted to limit the amount of aerial. It's not an aerial shot film.
Yeah.
It's not. The less aerial shots you have, the more impactful they are. So when you say you like them, because that's exactly right, because each time the aerial shots came up, they hit you.
Yeah, they did.
They hit
actually.
You. If we peppered the film with aerial shots, you'd be thinking, oh my God, what is this? Where's everything else?
There's an ant in the middle of the
film.
ocean.
The film builds layers. You've got to have many layers. And for what we had, we were a small crew, because you're talking about 8 people. we could have 8 people on there. We haven't got the money for it.
Well, that's
but you know, and we're on boats, so we've got to have our kit's got to be quite small. It's got to be we've got to be manoeuvrable. You know, we're on a boat following. But I mean, Beth's in the water for, as you saw, 19, 20 hours.
But do you also think that money, like everybody likes money.
Yeah.
But do you think that's the reason why people act more naturally on camera, like Beth and her boy? I forgot her boy's name.
Dylan.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like, is that the reason you think that they were more natural? I
mean, Beth and her team and Dylan, they're not used to film cameras at all.
Yeah.
So the fact that we were there all the time certainly proved a distraction. Certainly at the beginning, but also it meant the fact that we were a small crew meant that over time we can kind of blend in. You know, so. The more we were there, the more natural they would be, because when we were at their house, when we were with them on the trips, they almost forgot that we were there.
Okay.
If we were a big crew, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, no, it would be awkward.
So, but talking about Dylan, Dylan was very aware we were there the whole time.
Well, because he's a child.
He's a child, and at first, you know, he thought it was quite interesting, but it was then quite hard.
Actually, it looks like he got really stressed out.
He did.
Through this.
He did. Yeah.
He got stressed out.
Yeah, he did.
He found it really difficult to. Initially, it was really good, and we had a lot of interaction, and off camera we got on great. But as soon as the camera was on, he just found it really hard
to be natural.
To be natural, and he found it too demanding. You know, initially
that affected Beth as well. That affected Beth as well.
I mean, initially the idea was that he had his own camera, so he had a bit like a
selfie,
camera.
yeah.
Yeah, so we would see.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would be able to see the journey from his angle, from his sort of a diary type camera. But very soon it became clear that it was too much for him.
Okay. And how did you do your self-release in the UK?
So the self-release.
Oh. Yeah. How do you do, like, I mean, I know you get your money, you rent theaters and whatever, but how do you actually do that?
No, so you self-release. We work with a company called Our Screen in the UK, a very good, they were our main release partner really, and they work very closely with the cinema chains like this, the Galaxy, but in Britain with the big cinema chains, and they book spaces, so they book theaters, and then you have to sell the tickets up front.
Okay.
So you have to hit a certain ticket threshold, and then the screening goes ahead. So everybody will sort of come out even as long as you have enough people there. So for example, you know, you might have a cinema screen like that, 100 people. So you have to sell at least 30 or 40 for the screening to go ahead, and then you try and sort of sell it out. We had loads of sold out screenings in the UK, and the idea was really you have to find your audience. And then, you know, it's very grassroots. It's a really interesting way of distributing, because you do it grassroots. You find your audience, and then they get excited about the film. They host the screenings. They spread the word within their network, and then the screening goes ahead. And then once one screening goes ahead, other people see it. They talk about their friends. So in the UK, it's been a real grassroots movement, and we've been in the cinemas for 5 months now.
Yeah, that's very lucky. That's more than, you know, like many movies here.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a limited. Remember, it's not.
No, but it's still something.
Yeah, no, it's been really good, and we've had screenings across the country, all the way from the south all the way up to the north and east, and everywhere.
1,000 people.
What would bring somebody to want to swim with sharks and jellyfish and all these creatures and put herself at risk when she could just inspire her child doing something that's a little bit less dangerous? So what do you think the reason is?
Why would she?
Yeah,
why would she put herself
that's his question
at
that
risk?
my friend had in Belfast.
I mean, you know, swimming. I mean, she's not. Beth isn't openly wanting to go and swim with sharks.
Yeah.
Or get stung by jellyfish.
But why not go hiking, or why not?
Because swimming. So before she got struck down with the ME. In the film, she always talks about swimming. She was always a keen swimmer. She was a keen sports person.
Okay.
Which is from the opening shots. The reason why we've constructed that slow-mo opening shot, where you see every bit of water on her face, is because she always talks about what water means to her.
Yeah.
And when
she
came,
she's at peace.
Yeah, when she's got peace in the water, it's where she feels at home.
And she's body confidence and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's and crucially, when she came through her Emmy, she's not cured. She lives symptom free. But when initially, it was what got her into ocean swimming was going in the water after coming through her illness, because water is what gave her body back.
Yeah.
It wasn't hiking.
It's water.
It wasn't hiking. It wasn't playing netball. It wasn't playing basketball. It's water, it's swimming. So that's her natural thing. Maybe in a past life she was a fish. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what she does. It's all about water. So as a mother, she's a single mother to a son.
And actually, she has a job while she's doing all this.
She's a self-employed single mother.
Yeah, that's
what she does. So it's for her. It's what can I do to inspire my son? She's got a dream. She's got a target that she wants to do this, and she wants to inspire her son. So. That's where she came across this challenge. This challenge has been going for nearly 20 years.
Yeah.
It's a proper challenge.
It's a bucket list.
You could say it's a bucket list.
That's what she's. I saw that. She said that in the Daily Mail.
This is what she uses to inspire her son. It's not hiking up a mountain. It's not doing all of that. Sharks, jellyfish. Those things live in the sea.
Yeah.
That's an occupational hazard. Of course, in one of the swims, when she has the encounter with the shark, right in the middle of the night, the common sense thing would have been to get out.
But she didn't.
No. She stayed in because she wanted to complete that.
That was a tiger shark.
It was a 10-foot tiger shark.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it was a friendly target shark.
Yeah.
But you're in the middle of the ocean at 3 o'clock in the morning at prime feeding time. And a shark. But if that shark wanted to attack her, it would have.
Oh yeah, it would have.
But it didn't.
It didn't.
Yeah.
Luckily.
Yeah.
Damian explained it really well. I mean, water, being in the water, swimming is critical for her recovery, from her overcoming her illness. So it was that's why she's done the swimming.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask you about the poster, the ending.
Yeah.
But the end, super cool poster. So do you think, what do you think, how do you decide, I know you didn't design it literally, probably, you hired somebody,
why did we chose that image?
Why this
she's
image?
Like a warrior, that's why I chose it.
I mean, the fonts and everything,
we chose that image because she goes into battle. She's a warrior. She wanted to, and she's an athlete. Determination and confidence. That's what we try to.
And the ending, which is I will end on the ending.
Yeah, we don't want to.
I'm not going to say what it is.
It's a very unexpected twist in the end. So, but yeah, we don't want to really talk about it. So check out the film if you want to know.
Do you think that is something that will help your film? Because actually, I know some of the best films. You can count Inception. You can have many things have endings that people talk about. So you think that's actually better?
I'm very proud that you mentioned me in the same breath as Inception.
Well, it's on my head. But
I think the ending makes it a really very strong narrative. I think it's like what stories are supposed to do. They lead you down one route, and then they completely change direction, and you are taken on a different ride. So that's what I think the ending is. So yeah, check it out.
You want to say bye to the people? Or?
Yeah, thanks for listening, and bye, and I hope you'll be able to see the film in the United States.
That must be all great. All right, okay, so
I hope you will be able to see the film in the United States soon.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.